Hey everyone, Bill Constain, Freedom Wealth TV, and welcome to our next episode. I am encouraged today. There's lots of things going on around the world and can be a little discouraging, but here at Freedom Wealth TV, we try to keep it super positive and super real for all of you. So if you like this type of content, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We're going to be discussing what the scientists are saying. Lots of times people that might question what I have to say, maybe some articles, they say, listen, I want to hear from the doctors, I want to hear from the scientists. Well, let's see what the scientists have to say. Just recently on the Hill, which is pretty well known as a liberal newspaper, it's certainly not Fox, it's certainly not a conservative view. Scientists say the coronavirus is not mutating quickly and might respond to a single vaccine. This was put together just a couple of days ago. I know I had seen it. I'm surprised it's not out there more in the mainstream. But scientists study the novel coronavirus genetic codes, say it does not appear to be mutating quickly, suggesting any vaccine developed for it will likely remain effective in the long term. Effective in the long term. We like that. Peter Thielen, a molecular geneticist at the Johns Hopkins University, the prestigious Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Laboratory, told the Washington Post, again, a very liberal newspaper and news view, that there are only about 4 to 10 genetic differences between the strains infecting people in the United States and the virus that emerged in Wuhan, China. That's a relatively small number of mutations for having passed through a large number of people. He told the newspaper, at this point, the mutation rate of the virus would suggest that the vaccine developed for SARS-CoV-2 would be a single vaccine. To me, that's encouraging, that it would be one vaccine rather than a new vaccine every year, like the flu vaccine known as influenza. That vaccine changes every year, constantly mutating. Okay, so this one, the scientists feel will not. Thielen compared the eventual vaccine to those used for illnesses such as chickenpox, measles, which generally immunize patients long term. In contrast, flu does have one trick up its sleeve that coronaviruses do not. The flu virus genome is broken up into several segments, each of which codes for a gene. Benjamin Newman of Texas A&M University at Texarkana told the Post. When two flu viruses are in the same cell, they can swap some segments, potentially creating new combination instantly. This is how the H1N1 swine flu originated. So anyway, so this just continues on here, just pretty encouraged here. So far, we don't have any evidence linking a specific virus strain to any disease severity score, Thielen said. Right now, disease severity is much more likely to be driven by other factors. Let me see. I think they mentioned something about Italy. Right, there it is. Death rates in places such as Italy likely the result of situational factors rather than mutations. So anyway, there you have it from the Hill. Scientists say the coronavirus is not mutating quickly and might respond to a single vaccine. That's not a guarantee, but I think a little bit of hope that maybe we can contain this sooner than many people think. So again, I want to make sure people are still taking all the precautions. Take it seriously. We don't have the vaccine yet, but I know that the scientists are working feverishly to do so. All right, so that's that. Let's talk financial. The Senate passed its $2 trillion relief bill. What happens next? This just happened, 6:44 p.m., according to Market Watch, March 26th. Just before midnight Wednesday, the Senate did what it had seemed on the verge of accomplishing for days and passed that $2 trillion economic relief package. We're going to get more on that. The bill passed the Senate unanimously and now heads into the House, where it's expected to pass in a voice vote Friday morning, setting up President Donald Trump to quickly sign it into law to give some relief to the American people, American families. All right, so there you have that. Markets has gone up. And again, not to make this, super political, I know President Trump talked about reopening at least parts of the country here. what he called a beautiful day, Easter Sunday. I know he was mischaracterized by some in the media saying a fun day. He did say it's a beautiful day, Resurrection Sunday, to as a metaphor, right? That we can come up from the dead. That this country has been kind of, in a stupor, kind of, obviously doing all the precautions, being safe, but business has been closed and people in their houses, and he'd like to see segments with the scientists, the doctors' guidance to make sure it all comes to fruition. But wouldn't it be nice, as a metaphor, that our country could start to wake up again, start to prosper, and so forth and so on. So, like to see your comments there, your thumbs up, and what you think there. The market has responded very well in the last few days. And I know a lot of you maybe don't like President Trump, but I will tell you he had to exude some leadership here in saying what he would like, what he anticipates, what he would like to see. But he also presses that he's following the doctor's guidance. So if he doesn't speak, let me tell you, the market probably wouldn't have gone up the last few days. If we didn't have leadership talking about where we're going, we probably would see the market continue to go down, continue to be problematic. And with his leadership, he said, there's hope. And for some that don't want hope, that don't want encouragement, hey, listen, God bless you and your family, and we just hope all the best for you. But many of us, and many of you would like to be encouraged. That's what I'm providing. Now, as many of you know, I've been an owner in a financial planning company, and we do a lot of life insurance planning as well. And I wanted to show you, let's see here, this one is from Fox Business, so we have a little bit of different things going on here. Okay, will life insurance pay out for the coronavirus pandemic? People want to know that. And I did speak to Allianz. I spoke to National Life, North American, three of the top life insurance carriers that we like to use. Of course, we're independent, and we work with all the different life insurance carriers. I wanted to get their perspective. Now, here's what Allianz had to say. With over 214,890 confirmed cases of this global virus, nearly 9,000 deaths around the globe at that time. Now that those numbers are significantly higher.
Family stretches to every corner of
Oops. Let's just get that back in here. We didn't want to do that. What we want to see is, does life insurance cover pandemics? And you'll be pleased to know that they do. Policies cover and adapt even in a pandemic. So my question to you here, and I know we're going over a lot of topics, is life insurance can be the most important thing, especially for a young family, to cover and replace income for the family. I am a husband for 20 years to my wife, Nicole, and two boys, two teenage boys. And if something, God forbid, were to happen to me, I want to make sure that my income would keep going to my family. And this is the question I ask people. If you love your family while you're here, if you're not here, don't you still love your family? Don't you still want good things to happen? Well, having the right amount of life insurance can protect your family, right? The emotion of losing a loved one is tremendous, but the financial burden can be devastating. So keeping it upbeat, yes, the life insurance companies have to pay. There's no exclusion for a pandemic. Now, the question I had for the top life insurance carriers in the world, what about moving forward? What about if people have coronavirus? Can they be insured? And the answer is, we have to wait. So if you get coronavirus, you can't get life insurance, at least right away. That's the bad news. So if you're there and you're worried about getting it, here's the question. Do you have income protection sufficient enough for your family? Be proactive. While you still are insurable, make sure you're getting the right amount of insurance. So get back to your agent, get back to your financial advisor. If I'm your financial advisor, or if you want to get a second opinion or a primary opinion, reach out to me. I'm going to have my website in the description, phone number. Reach out to me. We'll make sure we shop it for you. There's all types of life insurance, but make sure your family is protected. God forbid you do get coronavirus. And again, Governor Andrew Cuomo said the majority of us may get coronavirus, but very small percentage will be critically impacted. But there are some unknowns. So because of those unknowns, I called up the life insurance companies. I spoke to the top underwriters, being in the business 25 years, and I said, I want the right guidance. I want to know the facts. I want to know what I can tell my clients. And here's what I asked. I said, if someone has coronavirus, can they get life insurance? No, they can't. On the spot, they're going to have to wait. Once they are cleared from the doctors that they do not have any symptoms, and then additional 30 days, at that point, they can be fully underwritten and get life insurance, get approved. So wherever they would be, if it's standard, preferred, wherever it would be, they would not be penalized because they had coronavirus. I think that that's fantastic news, because I'll tell you what, clients that have had surgeries, heart attack, stroke, diabetes, type 1, any type of major surgery, life insurance companies typically will ask for at least 12 months to see how they recover. So my perspective, being a very experienced financial advisor and life insurance agent, is, and again, it's my perspective. You're welcome to put in a comment. Hopefully it's positive. That if the top life insurance companies in the world are saying, we'll wait 30 days, what that's telling me is they don't see it as big of a risk. Life insurance companies are not in the business of insuring people that are about to die. That's not their business. I've talked to a few people about it, and a couple of people have had different opinions. They say, well, they don't want to lose money. They want to write business, and if people have coronavirus, they should just write them anyway. That's not their business. That's like people being in the middle of a hurricane and all of a sudden, wanting to get flood insurance and hurricane insurance, and that's not how it works. So life insurance companies, they obviously want to do their job and underwrite, but if it's high risk and it's too high risk for them, they're not going to take the business. Every one of these companies have said, we just need 30 days after there's no symptoms, and we will underwrite them. So that's my perspective. I shared a few things here with you. Scientists saying that the mutating hasn't been as much as they thought, and a single vaccine. Life insurance companies, willing to insure people that have had coronavirus, waiting 30 days. Love to hear your thoughts. Lastly, I'm going to take you to my Facebook page here, and if you're not a friend of mine, make sure to follow. I'm right at that limit. I've been at that limit for probably around 5 years. I have 5,000 friends. And also, I put this in here, this post about the article. I'm hoping and praying that this is good news. This is not a political post. Please read, let me know what you think. And of course, got some reaction there. Good news, let's hope. And then above it, I said, do you want to increase your financial education? Because that's what we do while you're stuck at home. My team and I put together this 14 video course. And these videos are between 4 minutes and 10 minutes, and you could watch them one at a time. But if you got the time, you're at home, and you could watch it all in one day, no problem, or maybe a little bit over the course of a week. But it's totally free. You can click the link below in the description, freedomwealthservices.net. Get some education. Learn what the wealthy know about money that most people don't. Maybe but are you applying it? Are you applying the knowledge, right? Because knowledge is potential power. It's not necessarily power. You have to apply it. So with that said, everyone, this is Bill Constain, Freedom Wealth TV. Love to see your comments in there. Thumbs up. And if you like this type of material, this information, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and of course, take action. And make sure you are taking the precautions, listen to the doctors, but protect your mind, protect your heart. We want to be positive. We want to come through this. We want to empower our families. And along the way, look for opportunity. We become the questions that we ask ourselves. How is it that we can be safe through this? How is it that we can be healthy through this? How is it that we can become even more prosperous and more successful through this time? We become our thoughts. We become the questions we ask ourselves. God bless you and your family, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.